Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family, folks. I am Justin Riley.
And I'm Jessa Jeremiah. You said that very emphatically.
Very emphatically.
You're very excited to be here.
That just kind of came out.
I enjoyed it. It was great. Well, you're excited because we're here at Rubens Furniture and we're going to talk about some really cool stuff. We're in their kind of theater area.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm ready to watch a movie, have some popcorn. It's all about the popcorn.
Yeah, if you see my attention drift, it's because I'm watching the Bond movie.
I know you are.
Right now,
you have been watching. But that's okay. We're going to get to that a little bit later. We'll chat with those folks in a little bit. We're also going to find out what's new at Volvo, and I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, the VP himself of Fields Volvo of Madison is going to be here. He and the sales manager, Mike, are going to talk a little bit about some of the new products that they've got, and an SUV, a family-oriented SUV that gets really great gas mileage. So
yeah, a 7-seater. Now, you can fill 4, right? So you're going to have a few more
Yeah, I'll have to
kiddos.
have a few more.
Yeah, fill that bad boy up.
Yeah, so I'll give Christy a call right after this.
You got a long weekend ahead of you. We're also going to talk a little bit about finances. So if you don't know what the difference between a credit union and a bank is, we're going to kind of dissect that a little bit. And we're going to talk about some of the big challenges that people face when it comes to finances and maybe some tips to overcome them.
Yeah, we'll be joined by Chris from Summit Credit Union. He'll talk a little bit about that. And they have a really great program that they have with local high school students that he'll talk to us a little bit about too. So I'm really excited to hear that. That's all coming up right here on Wisconsin Family here at Rubens Furniture. Stick around. Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're here on location in the lower level of Rubens Furniture over on the west side of Madison.
We are. I'm ready to make some popcorn, kick back, watch a movie.
Got a big screen TV all kicked up.
Yeah.
They were showing a good James Bond movie earlier. I'm ready to go.
Life is good, huh?
Yeah, life is very good.
Will you guys let me stay around for that?
I think
Absolutely.
so.
Oh, there's plenty of chairs to go around. So my next guest is, our first guest I should say, is Chris Schell, who is in charge of marketing over at Summit Credit Union. Chris, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Glad
Thanks
to have
very
you.
much. Well, thank you. It's great to
Glad
be here.
to have you here. So, we've seen a lot of credit unions kind of popping up here and there lately. Tell us a little bit about what's the difference between a credit union and a bank.
Sure. Well, a credit union is a member-owned cooperative. So we don't have investors, we don't have shareholders. Our owners are all of our members. So every time that you save or borrow from your credit union, you're not only helping the credit union, but you're helping your fellow members. And so that allows us to give lower fees, higher rates on deposits, and lower rates on loans. In fact, there was a recent study done that said that nationally, most people who have their checking account at a credit union have fees that are only about 1/3 as high as those that are at banks.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Huh. That's very interesting.
My wife and I bank at Summit Credit Union, and we have our mortgage there and our car loans through there. We really enjoy the service that we get, and we really do enjoy those rates. They're great.
Well, thank you for being a member.
I actually didn't really know the difference, so thanks for explaining that to me.
You bet.
Talk to us a little bit about, other than what Justin has already said, but what do you think the difference is between your Summit specifically compared to other credit unions?
Well, at Summit, we really focus a lot on financial wellness and financial education. We really like to say that we do that because we want to turn wishing, waiting, and wanting into doing, into planning, doing, and experiencing.
Oh, I like that.
So we do a lot of financial education in the community and for our members. For example, we have branches at Memorial High School and La Follette High School here in Madison. Early in 2016, a branch at East will open. And we also have Star Credit Union, which just celebrated its 10th anniversary and is the only youth chartered credit union located at both of the locations of the Dane County Boys and Girls Club.
Is that something?
Yeah,
I like the education piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about the high school branches and then kind of a little bit of the history of Star Credit Union.
You bet. Well, kids deal with money issues every day, and increasingly they're dealing with money issues at much younger ages than they ever have before.
Car insurance, paying for their phone, and things
saving
like
for
that.
college,
Yeah.
It's not cheap
taking
anymore
on
to just kind of have that middle class life.
right, taking on student loan debt,
Yeah.
making those kind of decisions. And most high school students work too. So how do you manage that paycheck? So we've got branches in, as I said, 2 of the high schools now, with East coming on in early 2016. And other than our branch manager there, all the other employees are students, and we have student interns. And it gives not only the students, but also the faculty and staff at those schools credit union services right there in that school. And we do a lot of financial education with things like, we have a thing we call Project Teen Money, which helps educate kids and it helps them educate other students through peer learning about financial wellness. And as I said, STAR just had its 10th anniversary. That was founded by Summit Credit Union. Summit does all of the funding for STAR, but they're located at both Boys and Girls Clubs here in Dane County, and they allow kids to start learning about money and managing their money at a very, very early age, and
That's
it's really
so nice.
exciting.
That's very cool.
What a great lesson to learn as a youngster, making things easier for you as you go through life. You don't have to learn some of those lessons and make some of those mistakes to
Exactly.
get that experience. I think that's really nice.
Because more and more those mistakes can have pretty high stakes.
Unfortunately, that's so true.
Yeah.
Talk to us in a little bit broader sense. What do you feel like are some of people's biggest financial questions or concerns?
A lot of times it's saving for that first home, saving for a car. How can I improve my credit rating? How can I plan and save for the future and for retirement and for my kids' education?
Yeah, you hit it on the head. For me personally, with all those things, I find your credit score to be such a mystery, and I think a lot of people do and aren't really sure what to do in order to get the best credit score.
Right.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of counseling and coaching with members on what their credit score means, how it got to where it is, how they can improve it, how they can maintain it, and things like that.
That's great.
Let's talk mortgages a little bit. Let's talk buying homes. If someone out there who's watching is considering buying a home for the first time, what are some considerations? What are some things they should take into consideration?
That's a great question, because the first thing that comes to most people's mind is, I'm going to start shopping for a house, right?
Yes.
I'm going to
The
start.
house
The
comes
fun
first.
part.
That's right. And really the thing to do is first understand what is it that you can, not only can you afford, but are you comfortable with being able
Yeah.
to afford on a monthly payment? So the first thing you should do is sit down with a mortgage lender. Certainly, I hope you come
Right.
sit down with Summit,
Yeah.
or whether it's Summit or someone else,
Right.
sit down with a mortgage lender, understand what it is you're comfortable being able to afford, or what you need to do to plan to get
To
there.
get there.
A lot of times we'll meet with people and we'll set them out on a 2 or 3 year plan to
Right.
getty ready
smart.
to start
Yeah.
to buy a home,
It's a process.
right?
Yeah.
And then go out
Yeah.
and look for the
You don't
home.
want to be overhoused.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Thanks
Chris
so much.
Schell from Summit Credit Union, thanks so much for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks. It's been
Appreciate
great
it.
being here.
Don't go away. There's more Wisconsin Family coming up right after this. Stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are still sitting here at the fantastic Rubens. We are going to be chatting with them a little bit later about how you can turn your home into a mini theater.
Absolutely.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm game.
You guys can stick around for that
Yeah.
later.
Perfect.
It'll be a fun conversation. These two gentlemen are joining us from Fields Volvo of Madison, and we've got Ryan Fields and Mike Baldwin here. Ryan is the general manager and Mike is the sales manager. We're going to talk to you a little bit about just Fields Volvo in general, what kind of sets you guys apart, but I really would like to first start with how you got involved in this whole thing. Ryan, talk to us about that.
Sure, it's a family business. My dad started the company with the first dealership in 1971 with the help of his dad, my grandfather. Since then, grown the company to, along with the help of my brothers in the business as well, to 35 franchises in 25 locations in Illinois, Florida, North Carolina, and then here in Wisconsin.
Incredible story. Good for you. What a fun story of really coming up through the family. And it's so nice to hear when we talk to local businesses that it still is in the family and hasn't changed hands.
Very
So
much so,
congratulations. That's neat.
So you started, tell us a little bit about where exactly you started and then how you ended up in Madison.
Sure. Yeah. As like I said, I grew up in Illinois. Don't ask me if I'm a Bears fan. I'll have to plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's fine. That's probably the same
I
bet.
told you we weren't going to ask you any tough questions.
Yeah, no Jay Cutler questions. So yeah, I actually moved to Madison, not originally to work at the dealership here, although we already had the dealership.
Right.
I moved here for business school in 2008, along with my wife. And after I graduated in 2010, we had pretty quickly realized that this is the place we wanted to start our family. So when my brother let me know that the position was available at the Madison dealership, we jumped at that and are now here for good and raising our family here.
I'm sure you were a shoo-in for the job. No, that's wonderful. What a cool story. And tell us kind of from your words, let's start with you, Ryan, what you think it is that sets Fields apart from, some of the competition out there. It's thick.
Yeah, one of the things, the most obvious thing is our amenities program. Among a lot of other benefits that customers get when they buy a car from Fields is free car washes for the life of the vehicle, as long as they own it.
Great.
Yeah. So as well as, I think even more important than that though is how we treat our employees and then how in turn they treat their customers. I think what we do is we try to promote and grow from within. So our employees then, grow with the company, their opportunities grow with the company, and they in turn, value the long-term relationships they build with their customers because they know it
Happy
benefits
employees
everyone.
means happy customers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think those are really good points, Ryan, and so nice that you've kept that family experience. And what do you think, Mike, in terms of feeling like a family, how does that translate then to the customer experience?
I think it translates a lot at the end of the day because the staff feel part of the Fields family at the end of the day. We pass it across to our customers at the end of the day. Everything is very low pressure, again, very relaxed and very professional, but we're trying to keep everything mainly low pressure. We deal with very educated people at the end of the day. We treat them with a lot of respect. It's in that direction.
I think people really appreciate that when they walk into, especially a car dealership, that feeling of not being sold to, just feeling really low pressure. We want to help you find the vehicle that's best fit for you and what your needs are.
Absolutely. What we do is we try and educate.
Yep.
Absolutely, 100%. And because we're part of the Fields organization, say for example, a customer comes in on a certain type of car, basically because we have 4,000 cars to choose from within the Fields organization. So we have a lot of different avenues that we can take customers to try and help them at the end of the day.
It seems like the perfect mix to me between being a family-owned business but having the resources to pull from a wide selection and a lot of resources there. So that's nice.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what is the most exciting product or the most exciting vehicle that you've got in your lots right now, and then also a little bit about what's coming down the line, what's in the future for Fields?
Yeah.
At the moment, I would say it's the Volvo XC90. And the main reason is it's a 7-seater vehicle, family-oriented vehicle that does 59 miles per gallon average.
Wow. This is like an SUV that does 59 miles.
This is
7-passenger.
SUV.
Wow, that's incredible.
Exactly. Yeah. There's 2 engine versions. I won't go into different versions of it, but yes.
So you can pack the whole family in and still have an affordable gas bill at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Get them in there. Pick them up from soccer practice.
Exactly.
Pile them in.
Yeah. It gives new, a new feel to being a soccer mom or soccer dad.
That's right.
So,
How cool would you be riding around in your Volvo?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
That's neat.
Well, Ryan and Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. We had a pleasure talking with you, and I hope you come back again sometime.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Don't go away. There's more Wisconsin Family coming up right after this. Stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. And here we are. We've been filming all show here at Rubens Furniture, Rubens Our Lifestyle, down in the lower level. over here on the west side of Madison.
We sure have.
They've got such great things to show here. They've got some home theater systems, some home office setups. It's really great. And now we are going to have the honors of talking with Mr. Adam White. Adam, how are you?
I am well. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us. We've always enjoyed being
It is
here.
my pleasure.
Yeah. So you're around this stuff every day. This is your job. This is the life you live. This is your lifestyle. So talk to us a little bit about some of the trends that you see, coming through these days when it comes to media rooms or home theater systems.
Sure. We have been getting a lot of requests lately for bars, bar stools, AV units, home theater seating, that sort of thing. A lot of folks seem to be transitioning their old rec rooms into media rooms or home theater rooms. So we've been trying to provide them solutions for those things.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea too, because what a fun way to make use of an extra space, an extra room if you have one, or a lot of people have that basement that maybe is a family room that they really don't use that often.
Exactly.
And now you can have a place for the whole family to sit and kick back and watch a movie in style and comfort, and you don't have to leave home anymore, especially in this weather.
Or
Yeah,
just
exactly.
a man cave too, I suppose.
We're trying to keep it inclusive and avoid just a man. It is football
People
season,
cave.
but yes,
Women
exactly.
like football
family
too,
cave.
Let's talk a little bit. We've talked to you before about customization,
Sure.
but does this apply to this kind of setup? Can you do customized bar stools and things like that?
Yeah, good question. Absolutely. All of the bar stools that we offer are going to be available in either counter or bar height. Lots of different finishes from the base of the stool to the upholstery on the stool. All home theater seating is available in leather or fabric. So yeah, everything
it
again
is.
is customizable. Sure.
That's so nice because, there's probably not a hugely wide selection of things in home theater. So to be able to come in and really make it your own and your own space, and if you're going to do a room like that, you may as well have it exactly what you want, right?
Exactly,
I
yep.
mean, this is kind of a dream room, so I think it's a great way to get it perfect for your own home.
Absolutely.
And I just want to interject and ask, how does that process start? You talk about customizing different pieces of furniture. Where does that start? Do you start with a list of options, or do you start by talking to the potential customer or the customer and asking them, what they're looking for, or how does that all start?
Sure. A lot of times it starts with a space plan. Folks will come in. These are the dimensions of my room. This is what we have to work with. We can then help them with that. They generally will choose the design of the piece, and then we can help them with different configurations as far as seating goes, or what style AV unit will fit in that space for them.
And that's cool that you mentioned that, because that's how involved in the process you folks are. Is you're actually going to take possibly a setup of this room and go by dimensions, and you're almost like creating a little map of that space
Exactly
to see
right.
what's going to fit properly.
You got it.
That's quite the process, and not a lot of places do that, so I think that's incredible that you're going to do that, because the worst thing about buying furniture is when you get home and you realize, gosh, this really isn't as big as I thought it was,
Or it's
geez,
too big.
too
Oh yeah,
big
that's
for
a
the
very
space.
common
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that's incredible that you're that detailed. Now, we're talking about AV units. Tell us a little bit about those and what kind of selection you have in terms of those.
Right now, we seem to really be doing well with a company named BDI out of California. Their units seem to just be a little better thought out than a lot of the other ones out there. All the backs have sliding doors. Everything is vented. It's much easier to access your components should you need to at some point, which you always do eventually.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, they've been doing really well for us.
That's really nice. So that convenience is important when it comes to media centers. I think people forget about that, but when you do need to move something or get to something or swap something out as technology changes so quickly,
You got it, yep,
having
that's
a
true.
system that makes that easy is going to save you a lot of headache and keep your hair. You won't be pulling your hair out, right,
yeah,
Justin?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. So let's talk a little bit about the types of seating that people are asking for when they come in and they want you to design a home theater system. What are they looking for? What's popular there?
Well, there are quite a few options actually. You can do anything from just kind of standard recliner chairs to pieces that are actually made as home theater units that are all connected, that will provide cup holders and all sorts of things if you like that.
Yes, I do.
So
I love it.
there are quite a few options, and certainly that's something we can help you with too.
Sure. sure.
Excellent. What are your final, kind of recommendations for somebody who's coming in and thinking about doing something like this with their space? Is there a recommendation that you have? What piece do you start with? How do you build this room? Where do you begin?
That's a great question.
You know, it generally begins with the focal point, which is going to be the TV, or if it's a projection style TV, that's kind of where we
I was going to say the
start.
popcorn table. That's not the
Yeah,
focal
yeah,
point.
right. It depends on the room, I suppose.
No, I'm
But yeah, generally with the AV unit, or if there's no actual physical unit needed, then the projection TV, and we will go from there. As far as the seating tends to be the first thing, deciding whether they want to do a true home theater style or maybe just a reclining sofa. And from there, we generally get into the bars or bistro tables. And then finally, what I really like to do that I think kind of caps it all off is some artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great that you mentioned that too, because we're getting all, into the furniture and the pieces, but you really want that full setting, and that's where you guys come in too as experts of design. You really are able to create the complete room and the complete look, and it's not just about the furniture, and not a lot of places are able to do that seamlessly.
And it really is kind of a building out process, it seems. Like
That's
you said,
right.
starting
Yeah.
with a focal point, and then you kind of build out from there.
You got it.
That's very
Absolutely.
cool. So, you've been doing this for quite a while. We talked a little bit about how a lot of people are coming to you and they may have a rec room, or a family room or whatever downstairs that hasn't really been used, and they want to build these home theater systems. In your experience, why do you think that that's changing? Why is there that shift? Why is there this sudden demand for that?
Well, it's been going on, I'd say, the last 4 or 5 years. We've
Yeah.
noticed a big increase in it. And I think people are just getting away from, the old pool table in the basement. And I think the advent of smaller, easier to work with technology has also made a big difference. So it's no longer the investment that it once was. It isn't as eccentric to have a home theater in your home anymore. It's relatively affordable for anyone. The TVs have just gotten so much smaller and more affordable, and that's really just the
That's
technology.
what it all kind of centers
Yeah.
around, right? Is
Exactly,
that TV?
yeah.
And for people who are thinking about doing this, how much space do they need to have? Can you do this in a room that would be like the size of a bedroom? Does it need to be a giant, great living room?
It really doesn't. Yeah, we see all shapes and sizes,
Yeah.
and that will depend a lot on the what's going to fit in there. Obviously,
Right.
you're probably not going to go with the large projection style
Right.
in a 10 by 12 room, but
Right.
but they do exist
Got it.
certainly,
Yeah.
and we've got things that are small enough to work in just about any space.
Well, this is such
Excellent.
a fun topic. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing this with us.
Yeah,
pleasure.
Adam White from Rubens Our Lifestyle, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for the information. Come down and see Adam, and he'll help you build your dream home theater system. Thanks for joining us today on Wisconsin Family. We'll see you next time.
Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting.